Perry. I'm a fourth-year accounting student, and I'm running for VP Finance for next year. So I'm just going to dive straight into my platform. So the first thing I wanted to change next year, the finance of the council, is to improve transparency on the council. I feel like there's a lack of trust between students and the council, and this is stemming from the fact that we don't know where our money is being allocated, how it's being spent, how it's being wasted, and how it can be improved. So what I'm proposing here is, on a regular basis, say at the beginning and the end of each semester, I compile statements that are easy to read and understand for the public, along with a message outlining our goals financially for the year in the short term and the long term, and have these posted to the student council website. What I'm trying to do here is bring some more accountability to the council. So we can post these, and if we don't follow through, you can call us out on it. Or you can evaluate us fairly and say, we're doing well. Right now, you can't really tell how the council is doing financially because none of these statements have been made public. Moving on to my second point, I wanted to take advantage of the large Telford budget. So here at Telford, we're exceptionally lucky to have a budget as large as we do, and I feel like it's not being properly spent. So I took a look at the budgets from last year's AGM, and as of March 1st, there was $40,000 that hadn't been spent. So this is a $40,000 surplus that isn't being spent in the forms of academic events, social events, scholarships, greater funding to the clubs. And on that note, there's been talk of restructuring how the clubs receive their levies, and I don't understand how Telford Student Council is going to hold the clubs accountable for delivering a positive student experience when they have funding that's as petty as $700 every 4 months. If I was elected as your council VP Finance next year, I would assure to squeeze as much money out of the budget as I could and push it towards the clubs so it can in turn be pushed towards students in the forms of events, academics, scholarships, what have you. My last point is a bit of a taboo topic, but at the moment, the council has a $100,000 surplus sitting in their accounts. And I feel like this should be something that should be talked about, and the money shouldn't just be sitting there for the next year collecting dust. $100,000, that's a lot of money. I'm like, if you ask me on the spot right now, what would I do with $100,000? I'm not too sure, but if I was elected as your VP Finance, at the very least, I think it's a conversation we're having. And just an example, the Science Student Association, they're about the same size as us, and they've taken about the same amount of money. And I believe it was last year, they had a surplus of about $60K, and they chose to use this to renovate their lounge. So this is a major undertaking, and I'm not saying that's what we should do, but you gotta give them credit for just using that money on a long-lasting project versus just letting it sit there. So just to wrap things up, I'm going to openly say I've never been on the council. That's the one thing I can't offer you. I'm a fresh new face, but I feel like that's what this council needs, a fresh face and fresh new ideas. What I can offer you, however, is my education as an accounting student, my job in which I have experience bookkeeping, and hopefully some ideas for next year that can bring around some needed change. Thank you.